Hey, it's Julie Davis. Thank you for joining me on the Talent Tug of War webinar. Over the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to take you through what I believe are some really fundamental things to address when you're recruiting or when you're thinking about growing and building a team. If you don't know me, I have been around the real estate industry for about 3+ decades now and have worked with hundreds of teams. And what we focus on is helping you optimize people performance and profit within your real estate business. So I've had the absolute pleasure of working with many, many brands across Australia and into New Zealand. And, what I believe is in terms of making a positive difference to their business. So today I'd like to talk about what has been identified as the 3 top reasons that people are leaving our industry. This may be true for some. It may not be for others. And it certainly, I hope, is not your personal experience either. But if we have a look at it, we are in challenging times in our industry of getting good people and attracting good people into roles. I think more than any other time is that there is so much burnout and stress. We have everything that is coming at us. There's a lot of uncertainty as well in the world, and it contributes to that burnout and stress. The other thing is that, and I personally believe this is a very big catalyst in our industry for the turnover rate of people in our industry. And sadly, so many of us have experienced in cultural and environmental workplaces that are not conducive of success. And also the other thing is a lack of career opportunities. We've got to be mindful as why are we not building those career opportunities within our business and giving people a pathway to success rather than having to step out of your business into another business to achieve those goals. So let's just have a little bit of a look in terms of, obviously, in terms of burnout and stress. It's a real thing within our workplace. And what that actually equates to within your business, if you have got people who are highly stressed or burnt out, tired, you will find that there's a lot of disengagement within your team, and probably a lot of issues in terms of how people are dealing with that. So it's incredibly important that that you look within your business and see, is this making an impact on our team? And the second thing is limited growth and advancement opportunities. We know that just as human beings, we want to grow and we want to be able to move up the career ladder and to go into roles where we feel that we can contribute and have personal growth or advancement in our careers as well. So this is really critical that we look at this in terms of when somebody comes in, that we have the opportunity for them to advance through the company into different roles. Many a real estate principal, I can tell you, started as a receptionist at the front office desk. So, please be mindful of that and look within for talent before we start looking in terms of hiring outside of the team. And communication, this once again goes back to that whole environmental thing, is that people feel unsupported within their role, the insufficient and ineffective communications. And it can certainly create an environment where there's, lack of motivation, uncertainty, and people will just, they'll walk with their feet and they will go and find somewhere where they feel it would be a better environment for them. They're the 3 main reasons. There's plenty more. And there are some companies that they experience a high degree of turnover and some that has very little turnover. But they're the key that were identified by MRI when they did the recent study of why people were leaving the industry. They were the 3 main things. And if you have a look, it's not just our industry. We do have an industry that has got high turnover. So let's ask the question here, is what is the true cost of a wrong hire? Well, according to the HR Institute, it can be up to 1.5 times someone's annual salary. That is a very big ouch. We've been very conservative here in terms of when we're looking at the numbers, and we've taken in a salary of, say, $60,000. And then we've said, well, replacement cost of 6 to 9 months of that salary. And, I guess on top of that, you could put in your recruitment fees if you are using a recruiter. But it's not just that. It's all of the other disruption that happens within the business. And from if you're onboarding that wrong person, the time, energy, and effort to try to get that right fit. And that's the value that I want to give you. That's my intention for today, is to give you some guidelines in terms of how to maybe have a more strategic recruiting approach. So here we're looking at a total cost of 30 to 45. And I think it would be, in my experience, fairly normal that for a mid-sized business, they might exit and re-recruit anywhere between 3 and 15 people. Now, let's just say that you've got 10 misaligned hires or wrong hires in there. You're looking at, in terms of bottom line profitability, is $300,000. That's directly out of your profit, not to mention your time, team morale, disengagement, recruiting, all of those things all go into that. So, just do a little quick calculation in your head. Is what has your turnover been in the last 12 months? So I'm hoping today I'm going to give you some tools that can help you to make a more strategic approach towards your recruitment. Some maybe 1 or 2 takeaways that you can easily implement, which is not going to cost you any money. But if your bottom line, that's your profit, that's your future life, right? This is the life that you dream of and what it's going to look like after retirement. And if you just find that you're just chipping away, and that profitability comes out of your business, it's good business sense to engage someone to help you with those recruitment strategies, rather than work on a hope strategy, because a hope strategy is not a good strategy. And we have to be discerning about who we're going to have in our team. So the first thing I want to talk about is your value proposition. What is your value proposition to the marketplace for talent acquisition? We look at it, we create great value propositions in terms of when we're listing and selling properties and why we're better than another agency. We do it when we're going out in terms of building our property management. Everything that we create around that, the dialogue that we use, the people that we're sending out into the field, it is all about a value proposition. I want you to think about, what is my value proposition to attract and maintain the very best talent in our industry? Now, that could be just having a web page and having number one, being really clear on your values and your culture, not words on a wall, but things that are lived, and things, if you were to ask any of your team members, what are our core values, they will be able to say. So score yourself from 1 out of 10 in terms of what is your value proposition in terms of your talent acquisition, and what sort of headspace are you coming from, or belief are you coming from in terms of when you're hiring and recruiting new people. So let me show you today in terms of the Asian Dynamics ecosystem, of how we help clients hire with speed, ease, and accuracy. So before we do that, and I'll start by, there's 2 really critical things that you need to have when you're either recruiting or building team growth. The first thing is, we need to understand and know about natural energies and strengths of our teams. You need to know it personally, of what are your strengths, what are your natural energies, and how do you build a team around you to support you, that you can actually leverage those strengths in terms of in terms of your biggest contribution, but also what's going to be the most profitable thing in your business. We also need to look at acquired skills. Now, both of these are absolutely essential to excellence when we're building teams. So let's have a look. Let's just imagine for one moment, imagine the impact on your business that you were attracting the right people and they were sitting in the right roles, accessing the right tools and getting the right level of support. And we're all heading and we're all focused at heading towards a vision and a goal together. That's pretty incredible, isn't it? Well, it can be true. I can help you build your dream team. We just need to be really clear on the strategies that we're using to do that. And that starts with, what do you actually want from your business and what do you want that to look like? So let's talk about what I think are the 3 non-negotiable steps when you want to build a high-performing team. And the first thing that we look at is the portrayal. What is that person portraying to you in terms of in that job interview? How are they positioning themselves? How are they showing up? Are they in alignment with your values? We need to look really, really carefully at the character of our business is the first thing in the marketplace. And then the character of leadership and the character of the team is absolutely critical in terms of having alignment and that we have everybody with a shared value and moral compass within the business. So that's the first thing that we look at. And if you stay to the end, we've got some really great handouts that we're going to give you that's going to help you with all of this. And the second thing that we look at is, what is the potential of that person? How experienced are they? Sometimes experience is not necessarily good. What are their levels of competency? Now, this is really, really critical. Very few people that I speak to, very few business owners I speak to, are doing any form of skills testing. They're taking it at face value of what is written on the resume. And it's like being in property management, isn't it? It's one person's idea of a clean house is totally different to somebody else's. If the requirement is to use certain software programs, which in a lot of cases it is, and they're saying that they're at a high competency level, have them sit down with one of your team members, go through and just see at what level is their competency. Now, I think probably the most important thing is a deal breaker is the first step. However, if you have someone who's maybe not up to speed and you think that they would be a great fit for the business, you can train them, right? You can invest in training them to get that level of competency up. And the third thing that we look at is performance and talent. Now, talent is what is somebody going to bring over and above? What is the contribution that they're going to bring over and above? What we don't want to have in any team is people just showing up for the pay packet. Now, you, like me, I'm sure, have had a job at some point in your life where you could do that job. Was it your dream job? No. Were you showing up just for the pay packet? Maybe. Were you going home tired and exhausted because that job wasn't fulfilling you? This is like a really critical thing. And the way that we look at that in terms of how we use our performance platform is that we can actually tell where somebody's natural energy is and where they're going to be the best fit within your business or not. Many a time I've had a phone call thanking me that it helped them make a decision not to move forward with that person. So I guess first and foremost, right, is that you need to know not only yourself, but your team and where do you best leverage them. What's the strengths within your team? And this is where we look like really critically and we go, have we got the right people in the right roles? Now, we work with many teams, and it's a cornerstone of what we do at Agent Dynamics in working what we call a team elevation session. And if you want to know more about that, we can either send you a brochure, or you can just go to our website and you'll be able to download a brochure and find out all about what we do within a team elevation. It's really the first point of working with us, because if we don't deeply understand and know how to performance manage our team, if we don't know how to reward them, if we don't know how to communicate with them, and to create a success pathway that is right for them, and there's 4 different types of success pathways, we're setting ourselves up for failure. We need to give people an environment where they're actually going to thrive. That's exactly what Sarah Ward from Stone Real Estate in Illawarra. I've worked with Sarah for many years and building her team from scratch. She is now, because she's built her dream team, she's one of the highest performing agents and most recognised and rewarded agents, not only just in the Stone Group, but within that Illawarra region. It's as she said here, it's the profiling system was spot on with respect to our characters and how it helped the team work together with a greater understanding of how we all operate the best. So I guess what the most important thing is, we need to ascertain your current team are in the right roles, and the roles that they're in are complementary to their strengths. That will help you understand the talent gaps within your business. Once you understand the talent gap, and we know that we are looking to bring on a new team member, we really need to give some deep thought in terms of, what does that role look like? What are the key outcomes that you want from that role? What are the most critical activities that person needs to do? If you're writing your ads in the language of attracting the right person, you're going to have less but better quality applicants. And how we do that is if you go to my website, you will see under free resources the contribution compass identifier. It's a free little quiz where you 25 different questions that will ascertain for you the best person that you need in that role. And it will also give you tips on onboarding, ads, all of that sort of thing as well. But it's very comprehensive. So that would be the first thing. But could I say that unless you actually know who else is in your team first, this is not going to be a really effective strategy. One of the beautiful clients that we work with, Nitsky Real Estate, we work very close with them with their recruitment. They would never, ever put somebody into a role without going through our system in terms of profiling them, having a debrief with me, and that debrief becomes like more of another interview. Whereas because I understand so much about predictability of each profile, I can then ask questions that's going to highlight to me in those areas that are not their strengths, of what do they actually do in terms of having a strategy around that. So I can dig a lot deeper than what you can at an interview. So that's proved to be really, really successful. And Nitsky have certainly been one that have said no, probably more often than yes, because they know how critical it is to get that perfect person. And so what do you do when you are at that stage of interviewing someone? You've gone through the resumes, you've checked them all out, and it's critical that you bring references. You might be down to your last 2 candidates. And if you profile them, which I strongly recommend that you do, you can then look at what did your contribution identifiers say, what's going to be the best profile, what's the best spread of energy. You'll see down in these 4 boxes here, they actually come with a report with numbers on, in terms of where we can see the energy spread of someone. And when I say energy spread, not woo-woo, but it's where is that person going to have the most sustainability and add the most a contribution, and where is what's going to be the energies that that person is going to struggle with. Another one of our clients down in Griffith, Nathan, absolutely, he brings on some young people into his organisation and brings them up through the ranks. We've just done a profile for another young girl going in. It's one of the first things that Nathan does in terms of really understanding who we've got in the team. It's very instrumental in terms of when we've got two business partners coming together to form a company. It is absolutely critical that they understand each other's profiles of where their strengths are, where their challenges might be, issues that might come up that they may need to address as well. Unfortunately, we see so many fractured partnerships in our industry, and a lot of it can be alleviated in terms of if we know what is that preferred communication style from the other person. And this, of course, relays out to your clients. So in the team session, we talk about, how do we understand our clients? How do we tap in to be able to connect with them fully and get a better result? So let's talk a little bit just quickly about pre-recruitment planning and having a strategy around that. So, as I said, the first thing is role requirement identification, of be clear on what that role is. Don't get someone into the organization that is just unclear. Okay, we need to set people up for success. When you've done that, pop into the contribution identifier. Then when you're down to your final couple or one candidate, profile them. And the interview preparation, it is really important that we understand in terms of the communication style of that person, so we can ask questions that we know that they're going to be able to relate to. And of course, your skills assessment against the resume, and conduct your interviews. You also want to look in terms of the key things. We need to ask value-based questions in terms of, so we can ascertain what's important to them, find out about them. What are their goals? Where have they worked before? Talk about that experience when they've exit. What is it? What do they feel in terms of what can be the greatest contribution that they can make to your business? And once again, Champions Real Estate is really interesting because we recently did some work with them, and it's really funny how people can be on their best behavior for a couple of months, but then I'm sure you're all aware, something magical happens and they revert back to some patterns of their profile that maybe not that empowering. So it's critical that you know that as well. Okay, so post candidate selection, advise the successful candidate and arrange onboarding for them. What I would suggest also is really important that you might have a standard letter. I know that we've got one in Love Your Business that you can inform unsuccessful candidates. I'm just amazed at people just don't, like, it's crickets. They spend a lot of time putting their resume. Maybe they're waiting to hear, and they just don't ever hear anything. And remember that they're going to be future clients at some point in the future, or hopefully a referrer to you that haven't had a great experience, that you haven't bothered to even let them have the courtesy to let them know that they were unsuccessful, that you just don't know what impact that can have on your business down the track. Create a welcome pack. Create a pack with all of your collateral. You might have some hats or pens or whatever. Do a nice big welcome pack and make it a really, really big deal in terms of welcoming someone into their new home. And when I say team assignment, find someone that is the same profile as this team member and buddy them up, because their learning style is going to be so much easier. And then, of course, a really comprehensive onboarding and training session so that person feels confident in what they're doing. It's really, really critical that happens, because if somebody's not competent and they don't know and they don't feel they're getting the support, chances are that they will exit your business. So as we finish up, I want to share with you our Love Your Business platform. It's been probably 12 months, maybe more, a labor of love in terms of creating this platform and bringing on board some incredible experts. Now, it is a repository of I think it covers almost everything that you would need as a business owner. It's very, very comprehensive, whether it's from HR, and all of our HR documents have been overseen by HR experts and organizational psychologists. So you can feel confident in there. We also have access to HR people who can also give you some advice. We have some incredibly well-respected, highly regarded experts in our industry. And if I just start off with a few, whether it is, our branding expert, our legal expert, our social media, digital, I can't even tell you, there's just so many here. This Love Your Business is your platform to actually access documents as you need them. And you can go in if you want to, and you can pop your brand on there as well. It's all made really easy. You can download those documents. Everything in there is real estate specific. We are growing our experts all of the time, as I have people that I trust and I know that they have high integrity in our industry. I invite them on as an expert to be able to provide value to you. One thing that we have brought in this year is Sadar Australia, who is it's board governance. It's all around what are the responsibilities of being a director. In fact, we've got a masterclass coming up. And so there's some great documentation there about rights, responsibilities in terms of, wearing that director hat, boardroom, business building, I can't even tell you, there's so much in there. And I would really love to share that with you. Like, honestly, it's a no-brainer. It's about $650 for the year. And the documents we're going to give you today as a download, that will be coming to you via email after you have watched this webinar. I thought what is going to be the most suitable thing. So we've got some recruitment interview questions for property managers. You can just tweak them for admin or whatever. Recruitment process, why contribution compass matters and performance profiling really matters in your business, workforce turnover. So there's a lot there. All you need to do, here is a QR code, which you can just grab your phone here and you can scan it. It will take you straight to our resources folder where you can download those documents. I want to thank you so much for sharing the last 30 minutes, 20 minutes with me. If I can help you in any way, even if you've got a quick question, something that I may be able to add value to you, I would be really happy if you would like to book a clarity call with me, where we can probably drill down a little bit more in terms of what is happening in your business. I would love to do that also. So thank you once again. And I just want to thank you in terms of, spending some time with me today. And I look forward to hearing from you very soon.